In this video, I will be doing 10 cross examples with the focus on finding the optimal solution, or in other words, the solution with the least amount of moves. Now, I will be solving white crosses, but at the end I'll add 2 color neutral crosses where I'll share some tips to find the best cross color. Cross pieces here, 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 and right here. And notice that there's 2 cross pieces in the bottom layer, but they're not solved relative to each other. But also notice that blue is supposed to be left of red, as we can check with the centers. So after inserting blue, orange will get to the top layer, and I can use the orange piece to insert the green piece in its position. So I would probably do this from this position, inserting the blue cross piece, doing a D to align the cross. And then from this position, I can do R prime, putting the bed edge above the orange piece and inserting both pieces. For this scramble, we have cross pieces here, 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 and right here. Now notice that this edge is opposite to the center, this one as well, and this one as well. So it is pretty easy to work with. So we're basically just gonna insert these 2 pieces in the bottom layer and just keep track of this edge, which will be dragged in the middle layer right here. So we can solve these 2 pieces, move over the spot where it needs to go, insert it, and align the cross. So right now we have cross pieces here, 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 and right here. This time none of the pieces are solved, but I noticed that orange right here is supposed to be on the left of blue. So I could insert this piece right here, but try to think further. Then red ends up in the back, which isn't ideal, but I can just bring it to its correct center and then deal with the rest. So the solution from this angle would be solving these 2 pieces, bringing red to the correct center, aligning the cross, and solving the rest of the cross. So here we have a pretty easy cross pieces here, 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 and right here. Now notice that orange is in the bottom layer and green can be solved right next to it. Now the reason we're not gonna insert green right away is because if I do that, this blue piece will get in the top layer. Now this isn't necessarily bad, but notice that if you would insert the red piece, blue will get to the left of red, and that is the way it should be, blue, red. So a better way to solve this cross is to first solve red, which puts blue in the correct position, so we can solve that one. Then we can solve green, and finally align the cross. So this is a pretty nice scramble, although it doesn't necessarily look like one. We have pieces here, 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 and right here. And because everything is so close together, it feels like you cannot really work with them. But notice that this piece is opposite, and if I would bring blue to the opposite piece as well, by solving these 2 pieces first, green gets pushed to the correct center, which is really convenient because if I do a D2, I can solve both pieces, which makes it a 5 mover. This is a 7 mover, and honestly it's a really bad cross. We have cross pieces here, 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 and right here. I noticed that if I would align orange to red, I could insert the blue piece next to the orange piece and both pieces would be solved opposite. But if I would align orange to red, this cross piece right here gets to the bottom layer. Now, we can work with that because if we can bring it right here, I could solve blue and green at the same time. If I want to bring this piece right here, I would need to do a D prime. And we can use that because if we insert this red piece, it would also be sent to the opposite center. I know this is a lot, but try to follow my thought process. So starting by inserting this piece in the bottom layer, aligning orange to red, doing our D prime, and now you can probably see where we're going. Inserting this piece, and all of the pieces are in the position to be solved. And then finally, aligning the cross. So this is not a great cross. You have cross pieces here, 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 and right here. Now what I noticed with this cross, if we start with a U move, I can solve these 2 pieces relative to each other, like so, which would also set up these 2 pieces to be solved. Now this may seem really tough to predict, but from this angle it becomes a bit easier because we'll notice that once we do a U move, these 2 pieces can be solved pretty easily. So by inserting this piece and this one right here, blue gets pushed to the correct center, and if we then align the cross, we can solve these 2 pieces. And there we have our 6 move, really difficult cross. we have cross pieces here, 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 and right here. Now these two are in a bad position, this one is in a bad position, so it's not looking really good. But notice that if we bring the blue piece down, we can solve these two pieces simultaneously. So we are gonna do that, but we also have to keep track of this piece right here, which is a bad one. So we're gonna start off with a setup move, aligning this piece to the correct center. Then we can align the green cross piece so it's solved, inserting this one, and then we can do 1, 2, 3, just like that. So when you're color neutral, you want to decide on a cross color as fast as possible. Now how do you do that? Well, you cannot check each cross solution because that just takes too much of your inspection time. Instead, we're gonna look at the center pieces and see how many correct edge pieces are connected to it. For example, right here, white has nothing, so let's not go with that. Orange has 1. And green has 1. So now we're just gonna check these two colors because these are the only two center pieces which have an edge attached to it. You quickly want to scan all of the cross pieces and see if you can work with it. Orange right here looks a bit tough, so let's quickly check green, and all of these cross pieces are actually in a great position because we have yellow right here. Orange is next to yellow in the correct way, and red is opposite of orange the way it should be, and white is in the correct position as well. So from this angle, we could do something like, which solves all of the cross pieces relative to each other, and then we can just align it, which would be a way better solution than going for whites. So applying the same for this scramble, I notice these two pieces right here, but they're not solved relative to each other, so let's scan around a bit. Orange seems promising because we have two edges solved in the relative position, so yeah, let's definitely go with orange. Now with something like this, these two cross pieces are solved. This cross piece is connected to the correct center. Then we only need to solve this piece right here, but we can solve that together with the orange green piece. So from this angle, we can first align these two cross pieces by doing a D move. Bring the green orange piece down. We can move the bad piece on top of it, so we can solve it while solving the green piece. And that was a great color neutral cross. Now for all of the solutions I showed in this video, although they have the lowest move count, it doesn't mean that they are the best solutions. But I still think it's a good idea to be able to at least spot the optimal solution so you can later on decide which solution you can execute the fastest. I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao guys.